For 7 years, I was the silent backbone of our family. Rent, covered, electricity, paid, medical emergencies, groceries, birthday dinners. If it came with a bill, I handled it. I never complained, not even when my savings thinned or when I skipped dinners so they wouldn't see I was eating cheap noodles in my room. I was the oldest daughter, and when my dad lost his job after his company shut down, I stepped in without a second thought. At 23, I was juggling 2 jobs, one in retail during the day and freelance design work at night, just to make sure our house didn't fall apart. My brother was in college. My sister was still in high school. Mom was emotionally overwhelmed, and Dad, he never once said thank you. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. Still, I loved them. I kept hoping that one day they'd look at me not just as the fixer, the provider, the dependable one, but as a person, a daughter, a human being who also needed care, recognition, or just a moment to breathe. That moment never came. Instead, what I got was a slap across the face. Not a literal one, but something worse, more calculated. It happened on a gray Sunday morning when I was cleaning out the fridge. I had just paid off the last of my dad's credit card debt from an old hospital bill, and I thought maybe, just maybe, this time he'd notice. "Dad," I said gently, "I think we need to start budgeting differently. I can't keep covering everything alone." He looked up from his coffee with a scowl and scoffed. "You act like you're doing us a favor," he muttered. I blinked, unsure I heard him right. "I've been paying for almost everything," I said quietly. "I'm not acting, I am helping." That's when he stood up, slammed his mug on the counter, and spat the words that would replay in my mind for years. "You think you're some kind of saint? You're just a leech with a martyr complex. You live under this roof for free, and now you're lecturing us like we owe you something? If you're so tired of helping, get out." I froze. Mom was there. She didn't say a word. My sister looked up from her phone but didn't react. My brother, home from college, just shrugged and went back to his cereal. No one defended me. No one said, "Wait, she's the reason we're still standing." I was invisible. I stood there for a long second, heart pounding, trying to figure out whether to scream, cry, or collapse. Instead, I walked to my room, shut the door, and sat in silence. That night, I packed a single suitcase. I didn't announce it. I didn't cause a scene. I just left. I moved into a friend's tiny guest room and didn't tell anyone where I was. I cut off the payments. The auto pay on the mortgage, gone. The utilities, canceled. The grocery delivery app I subscribed to on their behalf, deleted. 2 weeks later, my phone exploded with missed calls. At first, I felt guilty. Every time I turned my phone screen down to silence another call from Mom or ignored a text from my brother saying, "Why are the lights off?" My stomach twisted. Years of conditioning had taught me that my pain came last, that no matter how much I was hurting, their comfort came first. But after that Sunday, something cracked in me. And this time, I let the silence speak for me. They had no idea where I was. For the first time in 7 years, they had to figure things out without me. The fridge stayed empty. The water got cut off. The car payments defaulted. I watched quietly as Mom posted vague Facebook statuses asking for prayers during this difficult time. But no one said my name. I had been erased from their story the moment I stopped serving a purpose. 3 weeks after I left, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I answered out of instinct. It was my sister. "You're being dramatic," she hissed. "Mom and Dad are struggling and you're out there pretending to be some victim?" I took a deep breath. "You mean the victim who's been paying for your Wi-Fi, your lunch orders, and your online clothes for the last 4 years? Silence. "You knew," I said quietly. "You all knew what I was doing. You just didn't care." She hung up on me. That night, I broke down. Not from regret, but from grief. Grief over a family that had never truly seen me as more than a bank account with a heartbeat. I wrote a letter, not to send, but to purge everything I'd kept locked up inside. "You called me a leech, Dad. But I was the one keeping your roof over your head. You called me selfish. But when was the last time anyone asked if I was okay? When I stopped paying, you didn't just lose money. You lost the one person who actually cared enough to hold the entire thing together while you all treated me like I didn't matter. 2 months passed. I moved into a tiny studio of my own, got a better remote job, and finally started spending on myself. I bought real food. I went to therapy. I slept without waking up to financial anxiety. For the first time, I wasn't surviving. I was living. And then the email came. From my dad. Subject, URGENT. Please read. It was a wall of text. He said they were being evicted, that they were blindsided by the bills I used to cover, that if I could just help out this once, it would be enough to keep them afloat. There was no apology, just desperation. I didn't respond. I waited. A few days later, a letter arrived at my work address. I had never given it to them. Somehow, they found it. Inside was a copy of something that made my heart freeze. My name was missing from my dad's retirement insurance policy. I had been intentionally excluded 2 years ago. The reason? I wasn't reliable. So not only did they rely on me for years, they had also officially erased me behind my back. I sent no reply, but something inside me shifted. I wasn't just going to walk away. I was going to reclaim my narrative. And fate handed me the opportunity in the most ironic way. An old college friend I hadn't spoken to in years texted me, "Hey, you know that duplex your parents live in? My uncle's firm just bought the building. They're planning to renovate and flip it, unless you're interested in taking over the lease management. Want me to put you in touch?" I stared at the message. The very roof I kept over their heads was now on the market. And I had the chance to be the one holding the keys. I smiled. Not out of spite, but because karma had finally knocked. And this time, I answered. I took the meeting, not out of revenge, but out of clarity. The building was in rough shape. My family had neglected the basics, just as they had neglected me. But I saw potential. I had money saved now, good credit, and better judgment. I bought the building under an LLC. No traceable name, no link to my personal identity. To them, I was gone. But I wasn't gone. I was watching. The day the ownership legally changed hands, I got a voicemail from Mom. She was crying. "We got a notice," she whimpered. "They're selling the building. We're going to lose the house. I don't know what to do." That was the house I paid rent for when no one else could. The house I kept from foreclosure with my 2 AM design jobs and overdraft charges. And now she was crying about losing it? It didn't break me. It calmed me. I sent a letter, a formal notice from the LLC. It gave them 60 days. That's when they showed up, outside my new place. Not my old apartment, not my friend's guest room. They had tracked down my studio condo through mutual friends and relatives I hadn't spoken to in years. My father stood on the sidewalk, arms crossed like nothing had ever happened. My mother looked worn, confused. My brother, who hadn't spoken to me in months, held a grocery bag as if it were some kind of peace offering. "Can we come in?" Dad asked flatly. "No," I said. "Look," he started, "we're going through a lot." "You've made your point, but family helps each other. You owe us that much." I laughed, quietly, but not kindly. "I owe you? I gave you everything for 7 years. You threw me out and called me a leech." Mom reached out, eyes brimming. "We were stressed. We didn't mean it." "Did you mean taking my name off the retirement policy? Was that also just stress?" Their faces dropped. "I know everything," I continued. "You made me the backup plan, the silent mule, and when I got tired, you tried to erase me. Well, now I've erased you, from my accounts, my payments, and my future." They stood in silence. "But I'll do one better," I added. "I'm not kicking you out. I'm offering you a choice." My dad's brow furrowed. "You can stay in the house, under one condition. You'll pay full rent, on time, and with no special treatment. The same deal I'd give a stranger. Or, you can leave." It was quiet for a beat too long. "You're bluffing," my brother said. I stepped back into the doorway and held up the new keys. "These say otherwise." Eventually, they left. No shouting, no begging. Just stunned silence. I had taken back everything. on my own terms. Weeks passed. They didn't choose to stay. They moved in with one of my aunts who had always looked down on me for never settling down. I heard through the grapevine they weren't happy there, but they never reached out again. I kept the duplex, renovated it, and turned the second unit into a quiet, creative retreat where I painted, read, and finally breathed without tension pressing on my chest. The rent from the tenants paid for my peace. The silence paid for my healing. One day, I framed that voicemail Mom left me, not to gloat, but as a reminder, I am not a leech. I am not disposable. I am not a backup plan. I am the foundation they stood on, and now I'm the one standing tall. And when people ask me if I ever miss my family, I smile and say, number. I finally built one, with boundaries, grace, and my name on the deed. Full circle, all mine. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.